What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying your lives to the fullest today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2023 Subaru Forester Sport. Huge thank you to Tyler Wright over at Stohlman Subaru of Sterling, Virginia for allowing me to do this review for you guys today. If you guys are interested in this particular Forester Sport or any Subaru product, I'll be sure to have Tyler's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. All right, jumping right into the video. First, let's talk about the exterior and performance. So like I said, this is a 2023 Subaru Forester Sport. And this particular one has been painted in crystal white pearl. There are no significant changes from the 2022 to the 2023 model year. So with that in mind, let's start over here at our headlights. So with the Forester Sport, you guys do get LED steering responsive headlights with high beam assist, as well as LED daytime running lights. And working our way down just a tad is where you will find your LED fog lights. Now working our way to the center of the front end, this is a sport specific front grille, and it is a satin black front grille with two gloss black grille bars on both sides of your Subaru emblem. Then you also do get a gloss black grille surround, and then coming down just a tad bit more, you also do get a satin black lower valance with some orange accent trim. And then you also do get a mix of satin and gloss black trim around your fog lights. So I'm going to point out the gloss black, which is like from over here to up top here, and then basically the rest of all of that down in there is all satin black, which, by the way, if you guys were wondering, leads nicely into your satin black wheel arch moldings, which can be found above all four of your wheels and tires. But I'm kind of jumping the gun a little bit because I did want to tell you guys about the ground clearance. So the ground clearance with the Forester Sport is 8.7 inches of ground clearance. And then working our way down along the side, the Sport does get active torque vectoring, as well as these Sport specific 18-inch metallic gray wheels. These wheels are wrapped in a 225/55 Falcon ZX ZE001 all-season tire. And I'll give you guys a view of the tread pattern on that tire there. One thing that I always find interesting about Subaru products, because they do this, you know, quite often with like the Onyx Edition Ascent Limited, for example, they call these wheels black. They say that these are black finish wheels, but if you take a look at these wheels in person, they're definitely not black and they're more of a gray wheel. I always point that out in all of my videos because it's just something weird that Subaru does. But then behind all four of your wheels and tires, this particular one has been optioned with the $196 splash guards, and again, that can be found behind all four of your wheels and tires. The Sport also does get a windshield wiper deicer, which is very nice for those of you guys who either live in Alaska or in the Northeast whenever we get snow, which at least where I'm at in Virginia, we don't get snow that often. But working our way down along the side again, the Forester Sport gets body color mirror caps with integrated turn signals. These side view mirrors are heated, manual folding, and you get your blind spot monitoring on the inside of the mirror about right there, and then on the passenger side about right there. And then let's do a little side profile action of the Forester Sport. You may be able to tell, comparing this to like the Outback's side profile, this is definitely a lot like bigger in this section. It's definitely like higher, and then it's also like a little bit stubbier, whereas the Outback is more of like a sleek design. But working our way up to the top of the roof line, you guys get these black roof rails with orange accents. If you can't tell, orange accents are the theme of the Sport. You also do get black window trim, body color door handles with keyless access. Just keep in mind that the keyless access function is only on your front two doors, so the driver door and the front passenger door. These rear doors do not get the keyless access function. And then coming down just a tad bit more, you guys do get this satin black door cladding, again with that orange accent color trim. Again, the Sport has that orange accent theme throughout the interior as well as the exterior, as if you guys can't tell already. But body color shark fin antenna, you get a body color roof spoiler with your integrated third brake light at the center. You also do get some black trim that surrounds the entire rear glass. You also get a rear glass defogger, which is a defroster, and then a single speed rear wiper. Subaru logo located at the center of your power liftgate, and then just beneath that, that is where you will find your backup camera. You guys get chrome badging back here on that side and on this side. And then with the Sport, you get a Sport specific badge back here that is orange with a black outline, or black with an orange outline, however you want to look at it. That is what that looks like. And then with the Sport, you also do get a power lift gate. So all you got to do is make sure you have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, put your hand underneath the Subaru emblem. You'll feel for a little pad, press on that pad, and the power lift gate will begin to go up. This is your cargo area cover. So let's say, you know, you go to an airport in a shady area, you can pull this back, and then the car, the thieves cannot see the contents that you have in your trunk, basically, is the way to look at that cargo area cover. So that is kind of like a nice, like, safety feature, a security feature, however you want to, you know, take a look at that. And then over here, you got a 12-volt power outlet right there. And then you have these grocery bag hooks. You get 4 of them back here. That's 1, that's 2. And then you got a 3rd one and a 4th one on this side. Sport also comes with a Harman Kardon sound system, as standard with the Sport again. These are the Sport specific floor mats. They are carpeted, and again, some more of that orange Sport with the black outline, or the black lettering, whatever, however you want to look at that. It's the black and orange, and then you get some orange accent colored stitching. You get an all-weather mat back here for your cargo area, and then underneath all of this stuff, and underneath this is kind of like a little bit more storage space, but then underneath this you have your spare tire, your jack, and all the necessary items, you know, to get you either on a flatbed and or to change your spare tire. Obviously always very nice. And then get a tiny little storage cubby on this side. I'd say, you know, that's probably 3 or 4 inches deep on that side. And then up top here, you get these 2 buttons to either close the power lift gate as well as lock the vehicle, or you could close the lift gate manually. Okay, well, I don't want it to close yet. Come on, Subaru. And then you also get a light here. It is LED. That's on and off. And then you have this little thing here. Honestly, I'm not quite sure what you would do with this, because if you set any sort of weight on it, it begins to pull the hatch down. So maybe you use that hook when the hatch is closed. I don't know, but pressing on that button, that lift gate will go right back down. And then coming down just a tad, let's take a look at our rear valance. I'm not sure how well the GoPro is going to pick it up, but this particular Subaru Forester does have the optional $1,645 option package 24, and what that gives you is this power lift gate as well as reverse automatic braking. And I'm pretty sure the reverse automatic braking, what they mean by that is that you get 4 backup sensors back here total. So there is the one, there's the second one, the third one, and the 4th one. You also do get a satin black rear valance with 2 reflectors on both sides, and then some more of that orange trim, and a single exit exhaust. If you guys were wondering about the rear axle ratio, you get a 370 axle ratio. And then if you were wondering about the max tow capacity, you get a 1,500 pound max tow capacity with the Forester Sport. If you guys got the Forester Wilderness, your max tow capacity jumps up to 3,500 pounds. So if you guys want the Forester, but let's say you have a jet ski or 2 and you want to be able to tow those, but you don't want to get another vehicle, then I recommend you get the Forester Wilderness. If towing capacity is not a worry of yours, then the Sport will do you just fine. But now with that stuff out of the way, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals that 2.5 liter naturally aspirated boxer 4-cylinder that makes 182 horsepower and 176 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a Lineartronic continuously variable transmission for a 0 to 60 time in 8.3 seconds. If you guys were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 26 miles per gallon in the city, 33 miles per gallon on the highway, for 29 miles per gallon combined with standard all-wheel drive. Now, I know those fuel economy numbers, or not the fuel economy numbers, I know those performance figures don't sound that exciting. However, if you guys don't really care about having a super powerful vehicle that can do 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, then I think this is a good vehicle for you. Also, the fuel economy numbers definitely make up for the lack of horsepower and torque. I mean, I think those are very good fuel economy numbers. And to be able to get 26 miles per gallon in the city with a big-ish SUV and all-wheel drive, I think that is a win in my book. But if you guys are enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I am now on my journey to 100,000 subscribers. I know that sounds crazy, but when I was at 1,000, it was kind of the same thing, because it's 10 times the amount that I had then, and now 100,000 is 10 times the amount that I have now. So again, if you're enjoying the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. But let's move into the interior Moving on into the interior, like I mentioned to you guys earlier on in the video, you do get keyless access, and this is a look at your key fob all the way at the top. Lock function, the Subaru emblem is your unlock function. Pressing on that button will power open and or close your power liftgate, and obviously you have your panic function. To get in the vehicle, all you got to do is have your key fob in your pocket, put your hand behind the door handle, and the vehicle will unlock. Now let's take a look at the sport specific interior. So Subaru calls this interior gray sport cloth with orange accents, and that's pretty much exactly what it is. So basically from about here all the way up top to here, and you can kind of see that divide, is all that gray sport cloth. You get this little like ribbon thing or whatever you would want to call it, like a tag that says sport with the orange lettering. Coming down, you get a nicely padded armrest with some accent colored stitching. This feels like a leather material, but with Subaru you never really know. It could be like a leatherette material. Aluminum door handle, power side view mirror controls here, unlock and your lock function. You get automatic up and down windows in the front, but you do not get automatic up or down windows in the back. Good amount of miscellaneous storage space here. I was just in an Outback, and there's definitely more storage space at the bottom of the door panel here in the Wilderness as compared to the Outback. And then you got a great spot. You could set a smart water bottle down in there. Like I mentioned earlier on in the video, the Harman Kardon sound system does come standard again with the Sport. And then taking a look at the driver's seat, you guys do get a 10-way power driver seat with 2-way lumbar, and the front seat over there is manually adjustable. That's a look at the driver's seat controls, but now let's step into the interior and let's see what the Sport has to offer here on the interior. So like I mentioned, keyless access. That also means you do get push button start. Make sure you have your key fob in the interior, push your foot down on the brake, and then push to start. And that is what it sounds like when it fires up. Now I'm gonna close the door, roll a couple windows down, get some cross flow going in here because I don't wanna turn the climate on. Otherwise, that's gonna mess with the audio in this video. So coming over here, that will open and or close your power lift gate. And then just to the right of that, that is steering responsive headlights off. So if you guys don't like the headlights moving when you guys turn the steering wheel, you can turn that function off by pressing on that button there. Then you can also adjust the height in which you guys set your power lift gate to. Just to the right of that, that is to brighten and or dim your gauge cluster and your backlit buttons. This is traction on or off. This is auto stop start system on or off. This is your blind spot monitoring system on or off. You get a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And what I mean by that is you can pull the steering wheel towards you, you can push the steering wheel away from you, and then you can bring it up and down to your liking, which is always very, very nice. Obviously, this is a look at your steering wheel. Let's take a look at our turn signal, headlight, and fog light control stock. So coming over to here, let's take a listen to our turn signal. That is what the turn signal sounds like. This right here on the end is your headlight control stock. So all the way at the bottom, headlights off, headlights automatic, daytime running lights on, and then all the way up top is your headlights always on. And then that is fog lights on, that is fog lights off. Just keep in mind, like right now, there's a little bit of daylight, or there is a lot of daylight left. So when I have my headlights in the automatic position, my fog lights are not on because my headlights are not on. But when I turn my headlights into the always on position, then my fog lights will turn on. So just keep in mind that the fog lights will not turn on until the headlights are turned on in the automatic position. So when it senses that it gets dark outside, then the headlights and the fog lights will turn on. But I just wanted to mention that to you guys. Again, this is another look at the steering wheel. It is a leather wrapped steering wheel. You get some more of that orange accent colored stitching. You get some accent colored trim at the bottom and center of your steering wheel. But let's take a listen to the horn. That is what the horn sounds like in the Forester Sport. So start over here. You get some steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. This is to downshift. This is to upshift. I know you get a CVT, but you do get 7 manual shift mode gears. So basically you get 7 simulated gear shifts with that CVT, and you can control it with the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. That is to go back on a track. That is to go forward on a track and skip between your different preset radio stations. And then this is your volume controls here, volume up, volume down. This is to source between your different audio stations. So you can go between your AM, FM, XM, Bluetooth audio, USB, and your auxiliary jack by the push of that button. Pressing on this info button is to control this screen up top here. So I'll go through that in a minute, but again, this is to control that top screen up there. That is to pick up on a phone call and or speak to the vehicle, and then that is to hang up on a phone call. And then these buttons down here are to control your productivity screen located at the center of your gauge cluster. Coming over to this side, The Sport does get SI drive, which is basically like sport and intelligent mode, and then you do get dual mode X drive, which I'll get into in a second. Here are your adaptive cruise control settings and your basically like driver assistance stuff on this side of the steering wheel. Now that we've got the steering wheel out of the way, let's go throughout our sport specific gauge cluster. So you may be able to tell it says Sport up top here again in that orange lettering. I'm gonna give you guys a better view, but that's your RPM gauge. Obviously on this side you have your speedometer, and you may be able to tell that you get an orange outline on your gauges, which again is sport specific. And then at the center you have your productivity screen. This is basically like your instant fuel economy. So when it's on this side, that means you're getting bad fuel economy. However, let's say we're coasting down a hill, this will come to this side and it will turn green, basically signifying that we're getting better fuel economy at that exact moment. That's your digital speedometer readout. That lets us know that we're in park. That is where it tells you what drive mode you're in. So we're in intelligent mode. That means the auto stop start system is off. That is your trip A information, or actually that's trip B information. If you guys want to reset this figure right here where it says 25.1, come over here, press and hold on this trip reset button, and then those values will go back down to 0. And then where it says 25, that is your odometer, and then all the way at the bottom is your fuel gauge. You may notice that the fuel pump is pointing to the right hand side of the vehicle. That means you fill the vehicle up with gas on that side. So if that arrow was pointing to this side, then you'd fill the vehicle up with gas on the driver's side. But again, to control that productivity screen, you have these functions down here on the left hand side of the steering wheel. So I'm just going to go down. That is a really cool feature. So when the auto stop start system turns the vehicle off at a stoplight, it will count for how long the vehicle has been off for and how much fuel it has saved on that trip. So this will reset every trip. Every time you turn the vehicle off, this will reset. But let's say, you know, you stop and it turns the vehicle off for like 5 seconds, and then you stop again and it turns it off for another 5 seconds, then this will be 10 seconds and it'll be total amount of fuel saved on that trip with the auto stop start system, if that makes sense. But coming down a little bit more, tire pressure stuff, you can go into a different menu by pressing and holding on this. Then that will bring you into your different settings menu. You can go between these different things here: reverse automatic braking, screen settings, while running volume, rear seat reminder, Subaru eyesight stuff. I guess I can show you that. So lead vehicle acquisition, lead vehicle moving, cruise control, lane centering, and we'll just go back, go reverse automatic braking, vehicle settings, default settings, go back. I'm going to go back, then I'm going to go down on this one more time. That brings you into your fuel range, and then your trip B average fuel economy stuff, trip A average fuel economy stuff, and the fuel range. And then that's some more analytical data. This is the screen that I would personally leave my vehicle on if this was my Forester. Coming up top to over here, it seems like the GoPro is kind of having a hard time picking it up. But again, to control this screen, you press this info button. So I'm going to focus it back in on that screen. Right now, it's basically just displaying my time, my temperature, and the Subaru eyesight features. If I press that info button, now we go into basically like your pitch and roll stuff. Come down one more, some temperatures and average speed stuff. That is your weather stuff, Bluetooth audio stuff, fuel range stuff, and that is a clock and the date. Come down one more, you can go to that info screen again. But that's kind of about it for that screen. Coming down just a tad, like I mentioned to you earlier on in the video, this has been optioned with the $1,645 option package 24, and that gives you guys this Starlink 8-inch infotainment system with wired Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto connectivity. That package also gives you the Harman Kardon sound system, the reverse automatic braking system, and the power lift gate. So now let's just go throughout that screen rather quickly. This is what your home screen looks like. You got the home button up top here. You also get a redundant physical home button down here. So you get 2 home buttons on the top and on the bottom. That's letting me know that my phone is connected and how much service my phone has and how much battery my phone has as well. You get your phone stuff, Subaru Starlink stuff, settings. You can add a shortcut, which is basically like one of these widgets, and then you can go to your apps, My Subaru, your media stuff, and then get back out of that, radio stuff, and then you have these 2 blank pages. Yeah, that's kind of about it for that screen. Coming down just a little bit more, you do get a CD player right about there, which a lot of new vehicles, I know a lot of Subaru people appreciate the CD player. So the Forester Sport comes with a CD player, redundant home button, you got your volume knob, you got your tuning knob over here, and then this is also your tone settings. So if you press and hold on that, that will bring you into your tone settings and all that kind of stuff there. Pressing that home button brings you back into the home screen. Then you got your radio button, brings you into your radio, which is basically like your AM, your FM, and your Sirius XM. This will bring you into your phone stuff. Basically that button up top there, that's what it will bring you into. You can go between your different apps by pressing on that. These are all your different apps. Let's look at that. Come down, that's to go back on a track, that's to go forward on the track, and then this will bring you into your Bluetooth audio screen. And that's kind of about it for this center section. Coming down a little bit more, you guys do get a single zone climate control system with the Sport. Pressing on that button will turn your rear window defroster and your heated side view mirrors on, and then you have your hazard button at the center right there. Coming down just a little bit more, you get some connectivity stuff down here. You get 2 USB-A ports, an auxiliary jack, and a 12-volt power outlet. I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max, and let's see how well that fits down in here. So you do have to angle it a little bit. Doesn't fit there perfectly. This is one of the bigger phones on the market, yet it still fits down in there. Just not the greatest, but there is room. And then again, the Sport, you get that Sport specific orange accent stitching, Sport specific orange trim on your gear shift selector, and then on your shift boot you have some more orange accent colored stitching. Like I mentioned, you do get a 7-speed manual shift mode with the CVT. So to go into that, go into drive, flip that over to the left, and now you can control the transmission with the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. Coming down just a little bit more, the Sport does come with dual X mode with hill descent control, and this is what your X mode selector looks like. So you have your snow/dirt, your deep snow and mud, and obviously your normal mode. To go into snow/dirt, flip that over to the left. If you guys want to go into deep snow/mud, flip that over to the right, and then to go into normal mode, press on that, and then that puts you back into your normal mode. Sport comes standard with heated front seats with 2 levels of adjustability, both high and low, and those are your controls there. You have an electronic parking brake by pulling up on that, and you can tell the parking brake is engaged with that red light there. If you want to disengage the parking brake, you just push your foot down on the brake, push down on that, and then the parking brake will disengage, and it lets you know by disappearing that red light there. Auto vehicle hold. This is when you're stuck in traffic, you're tired of holding your foot down on your brake by yourself. If you press that button, basically in traffic, the vehicle will hold you in place by itself with its braking system. That is always a very nice feature to have. You get 2 cup holders here. You get a nicely padded armrest with some accent colored stitching. Opening this up, let's see, I'd say about 50% of my forearm fits down in there. And then you also get another 12-volt power outlet located about right here, and then that is a look at that down in there. And then one other thing, you have another spot you could set a phone here as well if that's what you wanted to do. That's a look at that. Closing that back up and moving over to here, you do get a lockable glove box, which is nice. A lot of new vehicles don't have a lockable glove box, and a ton of space in there for your owner's manual, napkins, straws, snacks, or any miscellaneous items you want to put in there, as long as they're not like outrageously big. Like this is a MacBook Pro. I think this is a 13-inch, and that fits down in there. Actually, maybe it doesn't. If I slide it over that way, now it fits down in there. So just for size reference, 13-inch MacBook Pro will fit in your glove box. The passenger side door panel looks the exact same as what you have over here on the driver's side. One thing that I really like about pretty much all Subaru products, however, the new 2024 Crosstrek doesn't have it, but the 2023 does. So Subaru, you did a bad job on that with the Crosstrek. But look at these headrests. They are adjustable forward, they're adjustable backwards, and you have a few levels of adjustability with that. Always very, very nice. Now, this particular Forester has also been optioned with the $403 auto-dimming interior mirror with compass and HomeLink. So basically, auto-dimming mirror, that's your compass, and HomeLink is your universal garage door opener. So if you own a house with 3 different individual garage bays, you can open up those 3 different garage bays individually with these 3 different buttons. Up top here, it lets you know if your passenger airbag is on or off, or if you are unbuckled. And then you have your here you have your panoramic sunroof controls. The panoramic sunroof does come standard with the Forester Sport, and this is a look at the sunroof. It is quite massive. I don't know if it tilts. I don't think it tilts, but it does. Let's see. Wait, let's see. Does it tilt? No, it does not tilt. It only slides. So, that is a look. Massive sunroof. This is one of the few vehicles where they actually have a huge sunroof on there, and that's what's nice, is that it also will close with the shade as well if you want it to do that. That's to turn your lane keeping system on or off, and then that, I believe, is your forward collision warning or alert on or off as well. And then you have your Starlink stuff, which is basically your roadside assistance. And then over here, these are your light preferences. So if you want the lights to open up or to turn on with the door being opened up, you'd flip this over to the left. If you don't, you'd flip that over to the right. Now, on the topic of that, this particular Forester has also been optioned with the $78 interior LED light upgrade. So if you guys don't pay for that $78 package or option, then these lights would be halogen and not LED, whereas these are LED. Then you get a great taco holder up top here, also known as a sunglass holder there. Very nice. Opening this up, you get a vanity mirror with an LED vanity light. And then opening this up, you get this little slidey thing that slides out. I do wish that this whole thing would just slide forwards and backwards, but it is nice. You still get the option to slide that back out. And then last but not least, you get a little clip here. You can set money, registration, or any small paper product. Driver's side, you get an OPU panel, and then over here on the passenger side, you also get an OPU panel. Now, a couple things I wanted to go over before we got into those rear seats. I already went over the options that this has, so basically I'm going to go over a couple standard things if you guys were interested. Standard adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring, the sport intelligent drive, which is basically your 2 different drive modes. You get the dual X mode with hill descent control, heated front seats, and that panoramic roof. Now I'm going to throw the entire window sticker on screen. You guys can take a look at the government safety ratings. This thing pretty much gets 5 stars in every aspect except rollover, so just know if you get in an accident, you are in a very safe vehicle. And then you can go over the standard safety features like the blind spot monitoring, the automatic emergency steering, and all that kind of stuff under standard equipment. And then you can look at all the optional stuff, but basically I'm just going to highlight the MSRP. So the MSRP of the way that this particular 2023 Subaru Forester Sport is spec'd is $34,812. Let me know what you guys think of that price in the comments down below. But before we get into the driving portion of the review, I wanted to show you guys what we got going on in these rear seats. So opening up the door panel back here, looks pretty much the exact same as what you would find. I'm gonna get out of the way. Basically the same thing as what you would find in the front. You got a great spot. You could set a phone there, just like what you find in the front. Same door handle. However, you do not get automatic up or down windows back here, and that is as low as the window back here goes. Get a little bit of miscellaneous storage space, and then a spot you could set a Deer Park water bottle if you wanted to. Working our way into these rear seats. That is a look at the rear seats. Looks pretty much the exact same texture or pattern wise as what you would find on the front with the accent stitching and the gray cloth. You get a center fold down armrest with 2 cup holders, and it is also nicely padded. Basically, you guys get 6 seat back pockets behind here, and what I mean by that is that this one up top here is 1, and then this side is 2, and then over here is 3, and then it's the same layout on that side as well. 2 HVAC vents, and then you get 2 USB-A ports down in here as well. Coming up top, you get an LED dome light back here. Basically, you can set that to door, so when the doors open, those will turn on. And then you get an OPU panel and another OPU panel on the passenger side as well. I am adjusted behind myself. I'm 5'9", and I have plenty of leg room, plenty of knee room, and plenty of headroom as well. I mean, you guys can see just gobs of headroom, gobs of leg room, and gobs of knee room. So basically, there's definitely more like space back here for passengers in the Forester as compared to the Outback. So yeah, just keep that in mind if you guys are cross shopping the two. But you know, we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior of the Forester Sport. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I will see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, guys, and now on to the driving portion of the review. We'll go over these speed bumps at 5 miles an hour, and then we rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm going to turn the climate system off so you guys have a little bit better of audio. Again, we go 5 miles an hour. Let's see how it does on the second one here. And I'm going to give this thing an 8.3. It did very well over those speed bumps. It soaked up those bumps very, very well. Let's see what the body roll test is like. So I was just in a Outback Wilderness, and this definitely handles the body roll test better than the Outback Wilderness I just did a video with did. However, this definitely has less power than the Outback Wilderness. However, it still gets up and goes out of its own way very, very well. So if you guys are looking to get a vehicle with power that also gets great fuel economy, this gets great fuel economy, but the power is just really not there. But it feels like, I've driven a couple Foresters at this point, and it almost feels like this one like soaks up, or not soaks up, it has a little bit more get up and go than the other Foresters that I've tested previously, and that to totally be placebo, but it just feels like it gets up and goes at low speeds a little bit better than the other Foresters that I've tested previously have. So we'll do a little mild acceleration at this light and let's see how it does. I'm not going to floor it, but I'm going to get close, like 60% throttle. I mean, honestly, like, that's faster than you really need. You don't really need anything faster than that. Like, that, honestly, yeah, for some reason I feel like this has better get up and go than other Foresters that I've tested previously. I've never tested a Forester Sport before, and I feel like, yeah, this thing's definitely got enough get up and go. But you know, once you start getting up to like 60 miles an hour, that's really kind of where the power begins to fall on its face a little bit, and that's kind of where like the Outback Touring XT with the XT engine definitely has more passing power, you know, at higher speeds. But at lower speeds, like if you guys are just commuting around town, you want something that gets good fuel economy, you don't really get on the highways all that often, then I think that this thing has more than enough power for, you know, those of you guys who are doing that kind of thing. But if you guys are looking to get, you know, a daily driver, but you want it to have some power, and you drive on the highways often and you need just a little bit of passing power, you know, that's where this is going to struggle a little bit. You know, it doesn't have that kind of top end power that like the XT engine in the Outbacks has, you know what I'm saying? And you can't even get the XT engine in this. This is the only engine option that you can get on any Forester. I don't care if you get the fully loaded max trim level Forester, you still get the 2.5 liter naturally aspirated engine. It's what you get. Those like 3 people just ran that stoplight, and there's a cop going right there. I mean, literally like 3 people just ran that light, and it looks like the cop's not going to pull him over. If that was me, I would definitely probably be getting pulled over, but maybe he understands we're in rush hour, everybody just wants to get home. Anyways, that's besides the point. The sound system in this, like I said, comes standard with the Harman Kardon sound system, and it actually sounds really good. I mean, comparing it to like the Outback's Harman Kardon sound system, they sound about the same quality wise. So they're both nice quality sound systems. They got good clarity and they've got enough bass to keep you happy. So definitely better than the standard sound systems found in Subaru products. Like the standard sound systems found in Subaru products are not very good. Just stating my opinion. I personally like to listen to music when I'm driving in the car, and I like to turn it up a little bit. I don't quite listen to like rap music, but I do listen to like country and like classic rock, that kind of stuff. And this sound system does great with those 2 genres of music. Take a listen to what it sounds like driving at 55 with the wind noise and the road noise. So yes, there is a little bit of wind noise, there is a little bit of road noise, but honestly, for what you're paying for this thing, I think it's got an acceptable amount of road noise and an acceptable amount of wind noise. Like, it's not excessively loud, you can hear it a little bit, but I think it is well insulated. But comparing this to the Outback that I was just in, it felt like the Outback was definitely a little bit better insulated from the outside world. But you know, that's just me, you know what I'm saying? So some other people could have different experiences, but that's just that's what I've experienced here in the past few hours after reviewing the Outback Wilderness and this. I think personally that the Forester, at least on the interior, is in need of an update, because pretty much all other Subaru products, like the Legacies, the Ascents, the Outbacks, And now the Crosstreks, they all have the new 11.6-inch infotainment system, and I think it's about time for Subaru to put the 11.6-inch infotainment system in this, because you don't get the wireless CarPlay or the wireless Android Auto, but you do get the wired CarPlay and the wired Android Auto. But I definitely think that Subaru definitely needs to put the 11.6-inch screen in the Forester as well, because, you know, might as well just, you know, keep a streamlined theme throughout all of your products, right? If you're going to put them in everything else, you got to put them in this. And I'm assuming that if not for the 2024 model year, then for the 2025 model year, they will probably incorporate that screen on this. But overall, this is a great vehicle, and what I really like about it is that it's actually still affordable. It's actually a nice vehicle for the price. You know, there's not many vehicles you can find nowadays for about $34,000. You know what I'm saying? There are very few. There are a few, but the ones that you do get, you're like, okay, well, I wish this was nicer. But this has a lot of safety features that, you know, some $60,000 cars don't have. Like some $65,000 cars, you have to option for the blind spot monitoring. You have to option for that kind of stuff, and you have to option for the adaptive cruise control. Whereas this adaptive cruise control is standard. The blind spot monitoring is standard, at least with the sport trim level. And I believe on all trim levels of the Forester, the adaptive cruise control is standard. So adaptive cruise control pretty much on all Subaru products comes standard with their EyeSight suite of features. By the way, your EyeSight cameras are up top here and over there as well. I didn't point that out until right now, but overall, I think this thing drives great. I think it's got more than enough get up and go around town to really get you to where you need to be. You just got to bury your foot a little bit more. But, you know, once you get higher up in the RPMs, it does begin to give you a little bit of power. But you see how we're coasting, and see our instant fuel economy is now in the green. That's basically stating that we're getting good fuel economy. Now I'm going to put my foot down, and you can see now the fuel economy was bad once I put my foot down. So that's your instant fuel economy stuff. Thought I'd point that out here now. Once we get to this light and I take a left, I'm going to do a little bit of an acceleration, nothing crazy, but a little something. So I guess I'm going to have to wait for this light to turn green, and then once the light turns green again, I will do a little acceleration. All right, light is green. Let's see how it does acceleration wise. So I'm just gonna floor it. Like I told you guys, it's not the fastest thing in the world, but really, if you don't care about power, you want something that gets good fuel economy and is all-wheel drive and can still carry your family around, this is a great choice. Again, it doesn't have all the power in the world, but it's got great fuel economy. It's got all-wheel drive. It's got adaptive cruise control. It's got a Harman Kardon sound system, all for under $35,000. So I think the way that this one is spec'd very nicely. I don't know what they're doing over there, but they're doing something. But I think this one is spec'd nicely. I don't think this, you know, the best way that I can describe this to you guys is that this doesn't have like all the frills, like 360-degree view camera system and stuff like that, but it's pretty much got everything you need and more. You know, you don't need adaptive cruise control. This has adaptive cruise control. You don't need the blind spot monitoring. This has the blind spot monitoring. You don't need an auto dimming rearview mirror. You don't need a panoramic roof, but this has all of those different things, again, for under $35,000. So I think this is a great value for what you get. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with me in the comments down below. But that's it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. Like I said to you guys earlier on in the video, I am now on my journey to 100,000 subscribers, and I cannot get there without your guys' help. So again, if you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. But again, that's it for today's video. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.